Yeah, so I just admit people. Yes, thanks, Andy. We can make it bigger. Oh, look at that, Julie. That's 2. Yeah, and we can start. And
we're going to be chums as well. We get here the cookie.
5 people waiting in the waiting room, so I just go view, and I just go, hello, how are you? Where do I go view and let people in? Because it said 5 people in there. You talk. Okay. Hello, how are you? How nice to see everyone.
Hi, Susan.
Hello, how are you?
Hot.
Oh, I wish we were hot. It's so wet in Melbourne.
Oh, well, I'm in Harvey Bay,
Oh,
Queensland.
that's very nice.
I have fans on, and I might have to put the air conditioning on, but I'm trying to resist.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's so nice to see everyone's face. Beautiful.
We have Martin from the UK.
Oh, Mark, joining us. It's very nice of you. We've got a friend from the UK, and this is lovely. How wonderful.
That's another from the UK.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. This is getting even more global than I ever imagined. And it's our last session today, and I'm so excited that we, you know, have had a good week in getting people on board and sharing something that I dreamed about a while ago, and now it's come to fruition. So I haven't stopped writing during this time, and yeah. People are still joining. People are still joining, and it's good to be back in Melbourne after spending a week in Perth, and to see everyone's face. It's wonderful. So thank you very, very much for joining and for being with us, with Andy and myself. And I'd like to say hello to Julie, Bet Joy, Esther, hello Jackie, hello Carolyn, Nitisha, Jen, how nice to see you, Edison, Kerry Ann, Diane, hello Martin, hello Sandra, hello Pre, and hello Fiona. We should have about 25 at least, and about a lot more said, but we'll get started soon. I'd like to share with everyone something that's been keeping me feeling great on top of the tissue salts. And for those who haven't met me before, I'd like to say that I've been drinking this fabulous tea that's called the Samahan tea, SAMAHAN tea, and I just buy it in sachets. It's got about 14 herbs, SAMAHAN, and I just add it to hot water. And when I travel, especially, you know, I've never been surrounded, and hello Cherise, hello Mary, how nice to see you. When I travel, it's really nice knowing that I can put something in hot water, and it really has my back as much as the tissue salt. So how nice to see you. Another friend from the UK, Cherise, is back. I'd like to—
Hello, Suze.
I'm really well, and it's so nice to see everyone, and thanks for sharing the year with me. And over a year ago, I had a dream, you know, and a real happy time to think that if we don't look after our emotional self, we're not going to move forward in this new world that we're living in. And I've really been speaking a lot about the importance that our lives need more than vitamin B and vitamin C. But before I go on, I'd like to give us Andy Dang a big thank you for keeping me switched on this whole time, and I couldn't do it without him because he makes me really look very, very knowledgeable in front of the screen. So without Andy, I'm not really the star that I was born to be. So what I wanted to also say, in the time since I've last seen you, the reason I went to Perth was to launch my book. And for those people who haven't received my How to Be an Organic Woman book, it's available as an ebook. And today's also a celebration that we've launched the level 4. But the good news is we've just launched plant-based supplements, and the one that I'm taking, if you think that my skin's looking a bit more vibrant, is the Hair Plus Skin. We've got a super antioxidant formula, purely plant-based, and we've got a curcumin that's bioavailable. And my big talk, my lecture in the UK was in the UK. Here I am. I might be coming to the UK. That would be nice. My lecture was really about bioavailability. How bioavailable are the remedies that you're taking, and that's what I love about the tissue salts. The minute you start chewing them or use the spray, highly bioavailable. We're not going to survive in this new world if we do not activate, or if our supplements, there's no use eating activated foods if our cells are not activated. And I've always really supported that movement. I've also want to invite you all to think about the supplements you're taking. I still see clients, and really it's very sad in this time that clients are still buying a lot of supplements, and they're taking a handful of supplements and wondering why they don't feel well. I've moved to plant-based supplements as well as another way to further support and elevate my health, because the body recognizes plants, plant-based, but I'm also looking at how we can also support nature back. So by eating fresh fruit and vegetables, going to farmers markets, taking plant-based supplements, using products that don't destroy nature or our world, but give back to nature, we're going to really nourish the farmers as well. We're going to look after people that we've never met, but we are actually supporting their livelihoods as well. So I'm going to start sharing my PowerPoint that I've named, and Andy's going to help me share it. Look at Andy, just a whiz person.
Okay, so this one. Yeah.
That's great. So what I wanted to really highlight is I was very inspired. If you haven't read any of the work by Wim Hof, who's known as the Iceman, I would highly recommend that you get in touch with any of his Audible work or his books. And our aim is to be happy, healthy, and strong. And they're his catchwords. How can we be happy, healthy, and strong? And I added in there something that I've been working on for a long time, maybe even when I became a naturopath. That's why I moved into studying homeopathy, about emotional fitness. How do we maintain emotional fitness naturally? Everyone's judging us whether we're coping or not. And I'm not saying don't take prescriptive medication, but I'm saying that our emotions belong to us, and we need to find solutions that will best support how we decide to live in our day. I was just saying to Andy something very interesting. My mum's 85 and she's got chronic arthritis and, you know, she's stable and so forth, but she doesn't deal very well with pain, and she's blaming the last injection she got. So the idea, I suppose, is if we don't take full responsibility for our health, we're not really going to move from point A to B. So tonight I'm inviting each of you to start thinking, do you take full responsibility for your health? Now, I wrote here, a new world is upon us and emotional fitness is missing. So you can actually be eating the most amazing food. You can actually be taking the most amazing supplements. But if we don't actually look after our emotional stability, we're not going to live in a happy way in this, and I call it the new world. Oh my goodness, it's pouring in Melbourne, so we may get flooded. I hope I can get through this session, you know. So your cells are part of you and need to be nurtured. And I point out here, my two tissue salts, magphos and kaliphos, they're constituents of your brain cells. Both these minerals need the support of Bach flowers to deliver the emotional freedom we need to cope in this new world. And I speak about this new world. It's a world that there is so much fear around whether we're going to get the virus, live with the virus, how we're going to overcome. People complain that they never get their energy back. Well, I went to Renner, and I'd never been, Renner's one of our largest distributors, and I'd never been into a large expo for a long time. And the wonderment of this for me was that not only did I come back happier and being lecturing at this amazing yearly practitioner expo, but I came back as healthy as when I got on the plane. Yeah. So really it can be organized for the self, that we fine tune our mind and body, and never underestimate the gut in all this. As we mentioned in two Zooms previously, that 94% of your serotonin lives in your gut. And I'll speak about the importance of becoming more alkaline. And then I've got here, it all starts with you. This isn't, today is not about you looking after your husband, your pet, your family. It's about you. Make tonight and this session about you, because it all starts with you. And I've written here, we need more than vitamin B. You know, a lot of people think when we're stressed, if we just take vitamin B, we'll be fine. But that's for our physical stress. Yeah, mainly about our physical stress. So physical support for emotional, and I've got here, physical support for emotional well-being is important. However, we need to fine-tune our emotions to stay happy, healthy, and strong. Now, when we say happy, healthy, and strong, it doesn't mean about having strong bones. What's the use of having strong bones if you're sad? Now, strong bones are wonderful because you can stand tall in your body, but we need to link in the emotional platform of everything that we do. How do you feel when someone knocks on your door and you're having trouble getting to the front door? Yeah? Are you happy that you've woken up today? You know, are you happy at 3 p.m. or does the energy stoop down? Are you coping better with the eczema or the asthma, or your grumpy husband that says that you're grumpy and he's not? Or the person that you've walked into the supermarket and they can't stand to look at you, and the person behind you said, can I fit in? And yet you're in a rush. How we deal with those moments in our day defines how we're going to deal with the week, the month, the year, and whether we're going to become physically and mentally unwell. Now, I start here about your emotional self because it really pinpoints to why I wrote this level 4 module. Emotional self-awareness is the ability to understand your own emotions and their effects on your daily conversations and performance. I'm amazed, having met all these practitioners, having met clients, the minute I say to a woman, and sorry, Martin and Andy, not that I'm not speaking to you both, but you hide it a lot better than women. If I said right now to write 5 things you're worthy of, and I'd like you all to do that now. I am worthy of respect, I'm worthy of love, I'm worthy of, you know, organise it.
A lot of people couldn't join it. Zoom.
She thinks it's a Teams meeting. Can we send the invite
Yeah, I
to
think it's everything.
Anne Bow?
Val's on the phone.
So, sorry, some people think that we've got a Teams meeting, but it's an actual Zoom. So just getting back about daily conversations, have you all written 5 things I am worthy of? And I want that list to be read out every morning, yeah? And why do I say that? Because that's the start of your daily conversations. And that will then filter into your daily performance. That will filter in whether you're focused or not. You know, I have a lot of women in my, that ring me up and they say, Susan, I've got no time to focus on me, on myself. It's all about the kids. Well, I'm telling you now that your children do not need a mother that doesn't feel worthy. Now, I love this quote that I've actually found, and it was beautiful. I am not afraid of the storm, for I'm learning to sail my own ship. And tonight, by the end of the session, I hope that you actually take on board something that I link in with the Bach flowers and the tissue salts. And that's the whole thing. I'm not afraid of storms, for I'm learning to sail my own ship. And I've said here, the key to a healthy life is having a healthy mind. And we forget that. We forget that having a healthy life really does start with the way we wake up. Now, I also put this together, if you can all see it. And what does it take? You know, for myself, the 5 pillars, and they can be in different pillars here. Eating well, you know, what foods uplift you? Are the foods that you're eating, are they uplifting you? Sleeping well, that's crucial, yeah? Exercise, what's your movement like? You know, I was a bit disappointed in myself because I set a goal of 10,000, then that dropped down to 5,000 steps. And when my little beeper says you've only walked 2,773 steps, 2,000 less than the year before, and I think, Susan, what's happening to you? Yeah? So I set myself little goals. Family and peers, you know, who are you close to in your family? Do you have friends that uplift you? And self-respect. This is the key to maintaining ongoing strength. So, you know, what is the respect for the self like? Do you find time for yourself? Do you keep putting yourself down when you're speaking about yourself to people? So what I've done here is that how we, I'm just putting my note because I can't see it all. How we get to living with an active mind that serves us. And I've listed here the 5 tissue salts that you'll learn in my level 4 and why. And as you all know, that why I love the combination 5, because it shows up our nervous system, but it's got the Califos and the Magfos in there as well, which are constituents of your brain cells. And you're probably thinking, why is there NAPFOS in the combination 5? And there's NAPFOS in the combination 5 because when we're stressed and even emotionally stressed, what happens, we become quite acidic because our body uses up all these minerals. Now, I've also listed Califos and Magfos separately. If you're not if your nervous system isn't taking a bashing, you can start your day with Califos, Magfos 4 times a day. But if you've got menopause, if you've got anger, if you're not sleeping well, I go for the combination 5. Now, in all this, I've also got in there the NAPMER in there, because we forget to drink and hydrate ourselves when we're stressed. And I've put in there the NAPMER. And what the NAPMER does for us, it hydrates our cells. And, you know, sometimes when we're feeling hungry or when we're exhausted, if we have a glass of water or I've heard some women speak in the toilet, but I've had to hold myself back. I can't very well say, why on earth are you drinking 3 litres of water? Because you're forgetting what you're doing to the electrolytes. So it's not about drinking too much. It's about making sure you've got NAPMER that distributes and hydrates your cells so the water has a pathway. If you're craving salt, it means you don't have enough NAPMER. And if we're made of so much water and we're drinking water and we're still feeling thirsty, your body's saying that your cells are saying you don't have enough NAPMER. And you're probably wondering why I bring in here combination C for cat. In that formula, I've got Magfos, NAPFos, NAPSOF, and silica. And remember I said the first thing that happens to the body when we're stressed, besides the Magfos and the Califos being really taken over, because if we don't have enough of it, we're going to be in starvation mode and we're going to really not be able to focus. The combination C having the FAIRFOS, the combination C having the MAGFOS and the NAPFOS, but the NAPSOF as well to make us more alkaline, it creates healthy bile, and the silica, I call it the awesome foursome that makes you more alkaline. Why is it that women have hot flushes a lot more frequently when they're stressed? Why is it that people experience reflux, not just because of what they're eating, sometimes because of who they're sitting with and having dinner with? Does that make sense? We've all been to those functions where we don't like someone sitting opposite us and we're trying to digest our food. If there's something that I would like to suggest to each of you is that try to enjoy dinner, or you wake up, breakfast, lunch, or eating with people that really you feel very comfortable with, because that'll aid your digestion. Yeah, we cannot digest well if the people that we're around don't very much uplift us. Yeah, so be selective. And then the 3 groups that I speak about, and why I've loved Bach flowers for a very long time, and I'm really pleased that I'm still with Martin and Pleasance, and I've played a big hand in formulating these formulas, is because they emotionally fine-tune your emotional platform. There's nothing like them in the world, and we happen to have the best now that are not homeopathically diluted. So we've got a calm range, and how does this differ from the rescue remedy range? We've added 3 more Bach flowers. So Dr. Bach came up with the 5 Bach flowers, but in that formula, we've added white chestnut for the worrying thoughts. We've added mimulus for the fear, but we've also added in this formula aspen for unknown fears. And do you know the amount of fear that's in a lot of households, and unknown fears, whether their children are going to be able to go to school? Like I had someone the other day who said to me, they were so pleased. Now this has got a bit of a positive twist. A couple who are, one's 90 and the other one's 88, their family thought that they'd put them in respite for 3 weeks while they were on holidays. Well, they were thrilled that the nursing home rang them and said, we've got a lot of COVID, you can't come. So I thought that was quite nice that this elderly couple has stayed at home. But there's this fear all the time, what if? And that calm formula, if Dr. Bach was alive today, I believe that he would be adding remedies to the rescue remedy he made all those years ago. When I put together the focus formula, we've added the B12, but it's for those moments when we're not confident in our own decision making, but also we're feeling overwhelmed, we're sitting on the fence, and we cannot focus to start our day. And every morning I have this, as you know, but there's no alcohol in them. And, you know, like today, I was asked to go into a meeting. I've got all my back emails from Perth and so forth. And I was sitting opposite the director and he held up these new products and he said to me, so what can we do with that? And I was just pleased that I had the focus, because I would have said to him, and he may not have been very happy. And what focus actually also does, it gives you that mind stability, not to say to someone who's sitting opposite you, you've got to be joking. Now, if I said that to the director, he would have looked at me and he would have immediately said, oh, you're not coping, Susan. Now, how many times have we sat opposite people and they've judged us based on the way our tone changes? What I love about the focus formula, it actually gives you the breath of fresh air and it enables you to know that you're going to get there. And the sleep formula is not rescue sleep. It's specifically made for people who aren't sleeping. And why is that important? Because we must turn off our mental chatter at night. Yeah, we must turn it off so we can actually get that REM sleep, that good sleep, you know, that sleep that gives us a way to just switch it all off. Yes. And I recommend with that formula that you have it after dinner and before bed. And the nice thing about it, it just, you know, we're not aware when our emotions dictate to us. And Dr. Bach, all those years ago, actually showed us a way by creating these remedies on how you can actually change the colour of your day. Now, the beauty about combining tissue salts with Bach flowers, you're totally in control. Now, what I've also got is the Bach flowers, and they come in a set of 38 flower remedies. And what I've discussed with the brand manager of the Bach flowers, and we'll speak at the end about that, but there's 38 of them. And these are more the rest and quiet, focus, calm and sleep are already remedies that are put together for you. But the Bach flowers, it's about totally taking the responsibility to change the colour of your day by actually selecting flowers that best mimic where you're at this time in the day. So no matter what life throws at you, you can actually be in total control. We cannot change, like I would love the rain to stop today. I've got to go out after this, but I can't change it, but I can change how I feel about the rain. Does that make sense? So imagine knowing that we can control our cell matrix. Imagine knowing that we can provide food for our cells, whether we want to digest better, whether we want to sleep better, whether we want to feel better, whether we want to have healthier looking skin, whether we want to break down the phlegm. It's amazing how on earth can a woman on her wedding day feel fantastic if her sinuses are all clogged up. Now you're going to tell me that that's a physical ailment, and I do get worried with all the sprays that are sprayed up the nose, and a lot of people still don't believe that you're blocking your airways. But can you see how that bride wouldn't be happy if she'd be all clogged up? How on earth can she focus if her sinuses are blocked? And you're probably going to say to me that that's a physical ailment, but that's preventing her from sleeping better. That's preventing her from thinking straight. That's preventing her from feeling that she's in control. So your emotions do serve you to take full active control of your day. So when I wrote the level 4 and I invited Alex, who's another naturopath, I created a module in knowing that the tissue salts can also work in to support your mental well-being. And the wonderful thing about tissue salts, like I've always spoken to you, is that when people are on antidepressants, I always encourage that they take combination 5 because the antidepressant is making use of your 5-phosphates. So with antidepressants and drugs similar to that, that actually calms your nervous system, and there is a place for them, you can actually take away a lot of those negative side effects of the tremors, not feeling that you're focused, by using the tissue salts and Bach flowers. And why I'm very excited about speaking about this today, because at the age of 31, I think a lot of you who've met me, I didn't realize it was my life-changing aha moment, but I was asked to work in drug and alcohol. And everyone, I used to see about 13 clients a day, and I was very privileged. I didn't think I was privileged at that time to actually see what tissue salts and Bach flowers actually did to my clients. And there I am, 30 years on, Andy, not 20 years. I forgot, I thought I was still 51. That's right, I'm only 51. That they change the colour of a person's life and how comfortably. The conversations we have with ourselves begins with how comfortably are you sitting inside your own body? Do you like sitting inside your body? Do you like when you look in the mirror and you see yourself? What do you say? So have a think about ourselves dictating the conversations along with the Bach flowers. So, you know, and this, when I talked about understanding your emotional fitness, we spend so much money going to gyms. We spend so much money buying these amazing clothes. And I love clothes, Andy. I really do. I love it. And we spend so much time, but we really don't feel that we can actually maneuver our way to what's that word? An activated or a strong emotional self. You know, why should we have to wait to be in our 60s to be strong? Why is it that we cannot right now, whoever we're having a conversation with, that we can gently, in our own truth, speak our truth? If you cannot speak your truth at this time, what I do encourage is that you write a letter to that person without sending it, so you don't go to sleep with all those negative thoughts in your head. Does that make sense? So what I'm also asking you, each of you, if I said to each of you, what do you do to stay emotionally fit? I'd like you to write it down. And what is it that works for you? If we had to speak about emotional fitness, what are the tools that you use on a day, during the day, to stay emotionally aware and emotionally fit? And what I go into in my level 4 advanced course, I go into where do our emotions live? Do emotions influence our thinking? And I've actually written here, emotions have a certain power over our thoughts. In essence, our first read of a new situation is also centered in our emotions, feelings, and attitudes. Our emotions are laying the groundwork for the thinking that is to come. Habits are set based on trying to find ways to cope emotionally. Therefore, it isn't easy to give up habits that are associated with feeling uplifted. Yeah. I actually met up with someone who used to drink 7 cans of Diet Coke a day. And when I added tissue salts in her day, and I spoke about the importance of water, and she actually now uses the Calm spray. It was really wonderful to sit opposite her when I was away interstate. I hadn't seen her for 2 years. I was very worried that she was drinking Diet Coke because she's a diabetic. And she kept on saying to me, Susan, no sugar. But I said, what about the additives that your body just doesn't know what to do with and how acidic you can become? Now, when we went out, all she had was sparkling water or water. And I was so proud of her because that's a very hard habit to give up. So what I'm asking each of you to think about today is not focusing on the habit, but getting your emotional self ready so you can more easily give up the habit. So you're not going to help someone give up smoking by just saying stop smoking or stop drinking coffee, you know, everything in moderation. But you must prepare the cells of the body with the nutrition to be able to give up those habits. The habits are formed to allow us to cope with our day-to-day living that we don't even think about. I don't think about it at 8:30 a.m. when I go into my cafe and he says, hello, Susan, how are you today? And I say the same as usual. I don't really even think I need a cup of coffee, but it's a routine. So you write down what's your routine in the morning and are you happy with it? What do you do first thing in the morning? And do you think it adds to your day or derails your day? Did you all write that down? And what is it that tomorrow, if you could change one thing in your morning, what would it be? And when I was researching for this, to put this course together, I really found another avenue for ferrum phos because it's known as the first aid tissue salt. And you know that it's the oxygen carrier. And you know that when we become any inflammatory or feverish conditions can deplete our emotional fitness because when we've got a viral loading, we're not ourselves, yeah? And then I found out, as I looked at it a bit closer, iron is involved in many neurological activities and literature suggests that deficiency is associated with anxiety and depressive symptoms. So when you're low in iron, it's not about which iron you choose to take, but you've got to ask yourself, by taking the FAIR-FOSS, you're opening up the pathways for the iron, but it's also actually strengthening your emotional balance. So start thinking about the ferrum-phos as the pathway for more energy. And it's really interesting here, I write, people with iron deficiency have a significantly high incidence and risk of anxiety disorders. And that just puts another spin on the tissue salts. So rather than just going for the ferrum-phos, and that's why I love it in the combination 5, rather than just going for the ferrum-phos when we need a first aid, if you're someone that needs iron, you're having low energy and the iron that you're taking isn't adding to your day, it doesn't mean that the iron's not working. You may need to supplement with fer and phos 4 times a day to give your cells the oxygen so you can actually get through your day with a smile on your face. I don't want anyone to take anything from your day away that you're not prepared to give up. Why do we surrender our day when it belongs to us? Does that make sense? Why is it that we so easily give up our day? And that's to do with self-respect. It is my birthright to be happy. I'm also speaking here about the nat phos. Even though this tissue salt is listed for acidity in digestion, this tissue salt plays an essential role in many of the body's metabolic processes. It is common with heightened stress, we digest quicker, leading to insufficient absorption of minerals in the small intestine and often bloating, flatulence, and loose watery stools follow. On the other end of the spectrum, sometimes stress can cause people to hold on to their stools. So next time you're constipated, have a think about whether your emotional self is supporting you. How fit are you to actually have a healthy bowel? And then I go into each of the Bach flowers with Alex that are called, that are part of the Bach flower course, but they're also, I speak about, for example, olive in this book, and I say you feel washed out, you crave peace and quiet, and everything requires too much effort. Taking olive allows you to make economical use of your own reserves, and when needed, you have strength and vitality to cope with the demands. Yeah. Now, because we've only got an hour and a bit on this course, what we're offering when you have the level 4 course is the Bach flower kit at cost price rather than paying $880. It's just, you save about $380 by buying it. But also with the level 4 course, we're giving about $890 of modules on how to relearn, or if you've never learned, or learn the Angel Spark flowers and learn the techniques on how to use them. So what I'd like to do now, and then I'll just go on to the next slide. Oh, sorry, Andy. Why did I do that, Andy? I went, that's good. It's all good. Yeah. So the Bach flower training and the kit, you get an introduction to Ainsworth Spark flowers. Module 2 is about emotional well-being. Module 3 is an introduction to the ABC method, where you just put your hand over it and you select 3 for the day. And module 4 is the flowers, all the 38 are discussed. Yeah. And what I'd like now, Andy, is to stop the share, and I'd like to start working with the group. Beautiful.
See everyone now.
Thank you. Hello. Can I have some questions regarding on your emotional self, if anyone wants to share how emotionally fit they feel?
Can I say?
Yes, Natisha, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. As emotional well-being, you are saying, I think on the scale of 10, I'm on the scale, my rating is 5. My mind is so much crowded with so many things. So I think this patch flower remedies will definitely help me to get out clear, step by step, out of, and have a clarity, so I can communicate concisely, openly, and my decisions will be more intelligent.
That's wonderful. And Natisha, the reason I linked them up with tissue salts the reason I linked them up with tissue salts being so important, because by activating your cells, you actually move to emotional fitness a lot
That's right.
quicker. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Now-
and that's what I love about them. It's like when you put a chandelier on. I'd like everyone to think about themselves like a chandelier tonight.
Okay. Now, what is there in introduction ABC?
Oh, the ABC method is a method that Tony Pincus, the owner of Ainsworth's, introduces a whole new way.
Okay. So
Yeah,
along
that's-
with this course, you're giving the Bach Flower Remedies kit also?
No, with the course, you
It's
buy
a-
the course, and we buy the course, and you get a number of remedies for free. With that, you get about $100 worth of remedies, you know, different things that we're giving as part of that course.
Okay.
And if someone wants to do the Bach Flower course, I'd be happy to work in with them with the modules. With the level, with the level 4, you actually get the module 1 to better understand emotional well-being. But with the kit, when you buy the kit, you get all the trainings as part of the kit,
Yep.
the Bach Flower kit.
Okay. Okay. That's fine.
And you know what I love about what you've just said, Natisha, is that you've identified that your emotional fitness is at 5. Yeah. So what I'd
Yeah.
like to ask the team, if from a 1 to 10, where do you stand this week in your emotional fitness? What number from 1 to 10? Now,
say
if you're,
mine.
sorry?
I'd say mine sort of fluctuates because I
Okay,
sort
so
of,
Carol, can you please, Carol, tell me when you say it fluctuates, can you explain to me that fluctuation?
because I have chronic fatigue syndrome, so
Yes,
I have that kind of my physical stuff and going up and down. I think it's improved because I've started a Zoom Qigong course, which is very good.
good.
I've always taken for years Cali Foss.
Yes,
I used to use a lot of tissue salts. Before I got sick, I was a mental health nurse, and we used tissue salts a lot with a lot of our patients who were trauma victims or
yes,
a whole range of different things,
yes,
detox patients, the whole lot. So
yes.
yeah, it just depends. I mean, my sleep fluctuates, things like that. So I'm
Yeah.
going to try the
Carol,
sleep one.
sorry to interrupt, but what I'd like for you to consider is combination F, which is for fatigue.
I do have that. I do
So
have
you
that.
do about 8 a day.
All right, 8 a day. I probably don't take that much, and I take that. I also take because I have asthma and I have a lot of thing. I take what is it? I've got it here. Calimur.
Beautiful, beautiful. And combination
olive.
5 with Calimur is really, really good. And on the emotional front, Carol, you know, when you've got chronic fatigue, looking at that focus formula to have some focus in your day, because your fatigue will override everything. Does that make sense how I combine the two?
Yep, because I haven't taken it, but I've got some because I used to take it when I was working. I used to take olive, sorry,
Beautiful.
in the
Olive,
bath.
that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
so I should get back into taking that.
I'd like you to, and the focus formula, just taking 2 sprays under the tongue. The reason you take it under the tongue is because it's got the B12. Can I actually stress that tonight, when I speak about tissue salts and Bach flowers, these are only part of your wellness jigsaw puzzle. So have a think about whether the supplements that you're taking are working to support your emotional fitness and your physical fitness, or they've got a use by date. Because I know I've changed this year in like, you know, sometimes it's a habit with all the supplements that I take, but I've moved again into plant-based supplements alongside with the tissue salts, and I'm really noticing quite a difference in the way my iron is absorbed because it's been broken down in the small intestine. If you would like to know more about the vital mineral supplements, can you each email me so I can actually send you some material and some written material and so forth, because I just want to be able to answer all questions tonight, but I'd be happy to discuss how different plant-based supplements. And getting back to Carol, do you take Vital all in one?
I think I don't take the Vital. I take another plant-based supplements because I actually was on a whole load of supplements and I've just got, I haven't taken them for ages. I just got rid of them because I do that anyway, because I think you can take supplements, whatever you take, and then you have to have a rest.
That's
and
right.
then see how it goes.
Yeah,
I
and
think
Carol,
the Vital, because I have celiac disease, I cannot take the Vital because I think because of the gluten in it.
okay.
Yeah.
Is Vital gluten-free? I thought it's gluten-free. But can I just use you, Carol, as a bit of an example for tonight? And thanks for sharing your story. Can you understand when we have low energy, chronic fatigue, when our digestion isn't working effectively, we cannot bombard it with supplements unless they're in powder or chewable or spray form.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yep.
Yep, that's good. Thank you, Carol. How are you going, Jan? How are you going? Hello? Is Jan there? Jan, how are you feeling? We can't hear her. Can you hear us, Jan? Yes? Esther, how are you feeling? Can we remove Esther from her?
Sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah, thank you, Esther. So what's your emotional fitness like?
I would think possibly around middling as well, around 5 possibly.
Yeah, so can you see how important it is to really address? So if we've actually stuck on 5, I want you each to be on the higher end of that, you know, on the higher scale. I'd like us all to reach 8 to 10 on our emotional fitness. Yeah?
Yes.
Because we can easily move to that because we can take full control to move our emotional fitness. And it's about a change of mindset.
I was interested how you mentioned the Bach flowers because I've just started a course. I'm in the UK. Just started a course. It's with Nelson's Bach flowers.
Yes.
And the other night I tried some. It was the rock rose for the little dog when she was really trembling with the fireworks.
Yes.
And I thought it was lovely seeing how that worked. And sometimes I think we don't realise the power of.
Well, they're very, very powerful. Nelson's a great Bach flowers. We used to work with them. We've chosen to now work with Ainsworth's because we were concerned about them being homeopathically diluted. But if you're working with Nelson's, Esther, you continue working with them and you can still learn through this course, Esther, because I just go through, they're all the same names. They all have the same properties. So, and I'd like you to stay in touch, Esther, and tell me, as of today, in the next 7 days, working with the tissue salts and the Bach flowers, whether your rating of yourself and your emotional fitness has gone up.
Oh, I will do. Yes, thank you.
That'd be nice.
Thank you.
Diane, how are you going?
I would say between sort of 5 and 7. A lot of the time it's more of outside influences. So I do quite like start the day, I listen to some radio because there's some fun, there's some humour. I do some meditations and also the Qigong. I've got the morning practice. I use Lee Holden's videos. The thing is then it's sometimes outside influences or like my Wi-Fi, I'm wanting to spend some time online and then I cut off. There's like airplanes from a base nearby and I'm all calm and I'm doing everything and then suddenly my laptop shuts down and that affects. I also do have a chronic cough which like hasn't been diagnosed, and I've also got some digestion problems. So those were the 2 things that are mainly, I was drawn to you to see, you know, what help I can get.
Well, the MAG-FOS is your starting point with that cough, and you would go straight onto the NET-FOS. You know, and when you look at the formula like calm, Diane, and we can only control what happens to us. We can't control what happens or whatever someone says to us. And when we can regain our inner stability and power on, we take full control. And sometimes our emotional fitness is derailed because we give ourselves up to the outside forces and we let them derail us. But in your case, that cough, we need to really sort it out. So, of course, Carling Mer, if there's a bit of phlegm attached to it, but I've had a good result by increasing the amount of MAG-FOS and taking at least 4 before you go to bed at night, if you can. And you take one of those at least 6 times a day, a bit extra. Hello, Bet, how are you?
Betjoy.
Betjoy, how are you?
I am actually fabulous, and I would say my emotional fitness is mostly 8 because that's what I work on all the time. And whenever I've tried, the reason I'm interested in the course is because I'm working with a biofeedback app called Genius Insight. And one of the remedies that they offer, the frequency of the remedy, because it's biofeedback, so it's an app on your phone, is all the Bach flowers. And I don't know, I have no knowledge of that. So I thought I'd better learn what it is that they're all about. And when I've taken the Bach flower remedies in the past, I've always proven them. You know, it's like I take it for something and I just get worse. So I've stayed away from them. But with this biofeedback app, it's really helping. I don't know why I have an emotional fit. Yes, I do. I work very hard at my emotional fitness, and I'm a former psychologist, so I know how to do that.
Oh, that's wonderful, Betjoy.
However, my physical body, I'm 73, and I get diarrhea at least once a week. Sometimes, you know, tummy pains, and these days I just go, okay, this is the day for that, and I just, you know, like allow it to happen and move on. So, but I would prefer to not have that because it seems as though I'm wasting the food I've eaten.
Have you ever tried combination C for cat, Betjoy?
No, but I have been taking combination 5 for a different problem, which it solved, and that was tingly feet. I've had tingly feet since 2013. Nothing made any difference. They're not numb. They're not like diabetic numb. They're just tingly. And I started taking combination 5, and it's cured. And I have no idea how.
Well, those 5 phosphates are responsible for your nerve endings. So I say to people that your body will tell you what it's starved in. And anything to do with nerve endings, we always go to magnesium, but those 5 phosphates provide the source for the cells to do their magic, really, to give you back your balance.
Okay, so which one is it? Because I've been taking MAG-FOS and NatMer pretty much consistently for years. And
Did
also
you take a
the
5, or you just said Magfos and Natmer?
okay. So for years I've been taking Magfos and Natmer and the combinations for indigestion and tummy upset. But then I just got inspired and took the 5 and my digestion's still all over the place. But the 5 combination 5 cured the tingly feet. So,
but they work in synergy, Joy. So can I say to everyone, please do not take more than one combination in a single tissue salt, otherwise go on the 12. So that means that if you're needing combination 5, and in Joy's case, for her digestion, in that form, I would be adding the nat sulf.
yeah.
The nat
Well, that's part of
yeah.
nat sulf, natmer. I don't remember them all, but I sometimes take the separate ones.
That's right. And there's no problem with that, but it's a lot easier. If you need to take more than one combination in a single, you go straight to the 12. And Dr. Schuster believes we go to the 12, we stay on that for a month, we actually develop some sort of a balance, and then the body will tell us what it's most deficient in. And Joy, getting back to you with about which one was it, the synergy of those 5 phosphates harmonizes the cells of your body to actually be activated in their best form.
Okay. Right.
For some, Magfos would have just done it, but in your case, your deficiency may have been a lot greater when it came to more than Magfos. And you've said to me just now with your, you've used Magfos, that with tingly, it means it's quite severe. The deficiency is quite severe, and the body's saying, really giving you a bit of a wake-up call.
Okay, so are you saying that I should keep on taking the combination 5, or that I should move to the 12?
Combination 5 and add to now for the week nat sulf, and see whether, because the nat phos that's in combination 5 and the nat sulf are your dynamic duo in helping the gut to slow down on the diarrhea. And the other thing is, Joy, only warm drinks, nothing cold.
It's summer.
I know.
Well, I don't put ice in my drinks.
No, but nothing, even if we can try putting heat on your tummy or sitting on a heat pack, can actually do the trick when it comes to diarrhea.
Oh yeah, when I have the diarrhea, I do all of those things. It's just I'm not, I'd like to smooth the whole thing out, so I don't just go into that.
That's right, but I wouldn't just be doing it when you get diarrhea. I'd love for the whole week, Joy, if you could, when you can, when it's not too hot for you, that you sit on something warm, like a little heat pack, but also, like, people looked at me yesterday, I was in a restaurant and I asked for a jug of hot water and I poured it over my fruit salad with the yogurt. Because I know if I didn't do that, I would have been at 5 o'clock landing on the toilet, because I can't have anything very cold. And they just pulled the fruit salad out of the refrigerator. So I know how my body works. And people thought that was a bit weird, but I know that even on bircher muesli that I've made the night before, I'll get a jug of hot water or hot almond milk and I'll pour it on top. And just try that, Joy, and get back to me.
Well, I have noticed that if I eat a cold fruit salad that I make myself, and all the things have been in the fridge, that can trigger the diarrhea.
That's right. And I know that for myself. So my way to still get the fruit salad is that I just get a jug of hot water or whatever I'm adding to it, and I warm it up.
Okay, thank you.
Otherwise, it would have all come through me.
Thank you. I think. I'm still confused as to what.
So
I'm
I'm
still a bit
asking that nothing be eaten directly from the fridge.
No, that bit
Joy.
I'm not confused about. No, that I'm
So
confused about.
combination 5 and nat sulf, I'm asking for you to do that, like 2 combination 5 and 1 nat sulf 4 times a day for 7 days.
Okay. Great. Yeah, I got really upset when my local pharmacy didn't have combination 5.
We've run out of them. If you run out of combination 5, we've got combination A and combination B, and then you can add the tissue salts to that. And we're very, very sorry. We're trying to catch up at the moment.
No,
Yeah?
well, I ordered the sprays. I haven't had the sprays before, so that's what happened. I did get them. I didn't run out completely, but yeah.
Very good, very good.
Okay,
Mary,
so
how
when
are
would
you-
I take? When would I take? When would anybody take the 12s then? That
Oh,
bit.
the 12 is Joy. If you, like you were saying, Susan, I sometimes take the indigestion, the other ones. Every now and then when you feel you need at least more than one of the combinations and you just don't know where to start, you go straight to the 12 Joy.
Thank you.
Is that good?
Yes, thank you.
Yep. Now, Mary, I think you had a question. You've got to unmute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can, Mary.
Okay, well, I just wanted to share. I just got back from overseas. I was in Lebanon, and I haven't been there in 27 years. Anyway, I took some tissue salts with me and my supplements, and one of them was, well, I took the Mag Boss because that's all I could get my hands on. I was trying to rush to go to get some combination 5 and 12 and a few other things just to take for backup if I needed it. Anyway, when I landed in Lebanon, my legs were all swollen. I had all that fluid retention, and my hips, I had double hip surgery in the past over 10 years ago, and my hips were playing up. So I just got onto the Mag Boss, and it was like an instant. Within 1 hour, 2 hours, I had no more pain, and the fluid in my legs would just start to settle, and I had a great experience with it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So I came back and I was trying to get my hands on this tissue salts, and all the area that I live in, no one's got any of the tissue salts because they said they're out of stock, and they've been out of stock for a long time. But I was only able to get combination 5 and 12.
Great.
And I started them because just having that difference in the altitude with the travel and just the stresses of coming back, I've been on combination 5 and 12 in the last 2 weeks, and I found myself, I'm really in control of my emotions and as well as my physical being. On top of taking the rescue remedy. So I'm combining them all. And I'm just doing that through just hearing you in the courses, and I did miss the last one because I was overseas.
Yes.
And it really does work. And I've got a son with autism, and I wish I knew more about the tissue salts then, whereas he's just been on the Bach flower with the rescue remedy and his other supplementation. But now that I've been experimenting with the tissue salts, and there's only been 3 of them, I'm trying to get my hands on the rest of them. It's just been an amazing like experience, and I'm so grateful for them. And I want to say thank you for this opportunity.
Mary, I'm so pleased you shared that, and I'd like to send you a book. You're going to send me your mailing address and so forth. I'd like to send you some information. But can I just use Mary as an example? So when we need something like the combination 5 that's got the Magfos, and we found combination 5, you don't need to do the 5 and the 12.
I alternate it. I've been alternating it.
You can alternate it, or you can finish off the 5, like I say to people, do 2 tablets 4 times a day, use up 2 combination 5 in the month, and then you can do 1 tablet 4 times a day. And what's helping, Mary, is that broader spectrum for you of the 12, and they're the 12 minerals that the body needs. And for autistic children, I've had really good results for any children under 12 with the B Calm. That's the half the adult dose that I've formulated, or the combination 5 as they get older.
Oh, I might start him on the 5 then.
Yeah, I'd love you to start him on the 5, you know.
He's not young, he's 20, 21.
But they must be taken 4 times a day, and he'd really benefit from the rest and quiet calm. Yeah?
Thank you.
My pleasure. Julie, how are you?
Oh, that's $1 million question. I've been covering for a cystitis in my shoulder, and I've got GERD, which is, you know, what Beth Joy was talking about, in the gut. And yeah, so my emotions are all over the shop at the moment. I'm trying to balance that out and be really aware of what I'm eating, how I'm eating, and finding, yeah, I only drink liquid that's at room temperature or warm. Yeah, and just like lots of little meals, not eating like a big breakfast, big lunch, big dinner. And I'm finding that's working better for me. And yeah, but my emotions have been really all over the place.
Julie, I'd love you to go straight on that combination 12, you know, with that's got all of them, the 12,
Yeah.
and you try calm, you know, the rest of quite calm. And something that I haven't spoken about tonight, because I've been, and if you've come to a lot of my trainings, I can't encourage you enough to really look at the gut microbiome. You know,
Yeah, well, I take kefir from your advice.
Yes.
And I'm having a bit of trouble with that being cold, you know, the morning. So I'm having to warm it.
You can warm it up a bit. So if you take it out of the fridge, I do add a little bit of warm water to it.
Yeah, yeah. So I was taking, I was getting really cold tummy, you know, like internal tummy. It was like, oh. Yeah. But I don't want to stop taking the kefir.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've hired a book from the library that's fantastic by this doctor, the gut doctor, and yeah, she's got a lot of great information about the gut biome and all of that. So yeah, just trying to help myself really.
And keep in touch with us, Julie, because I'd love to hear how you go. And the combination 12, and sometimes what I do is combination 12 in your case, and chewing or using the spray of at least 5 Magphos every night.
Yeah, I do that before I go to sleep. I spray under the tongue for the Magphos.
Yeah, you don't have to do it under the tongue because it's not homeopathic. Right. You can do it inside the mouth. And why don't you do it after dinner and before you go to bed?
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. Well, I'm taking Combi C, and that's helping with the acid a little bit, but not. But I think that's my emotions that are acting out on it.
Are you taking 2 of those 4 times a day?
Not 2. I'm taking 1 4 times a day.
I would like you to, when we've got a chronic ailment like that, we need to double the dose. They're not homeopathic, or you take them more frequently.
Okay. Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah, it is good. And it's funny, you know, I if I'm having issues with, you know, I take all the tissue salts, I go straight back to Combi 12. I actually think that that's my what go-to. Like that's the one that I rely on when I'm confused. Yeah. So,
well, why don't you do that for a month?
I will,
and you just double that dose 4 times a day. I've got someone saying, and it's really nice, asking me about my skin that's glowing. And the tea, I spoke about the Samahan tea, and it's spelled SAMAHAN, SAMAHAN, and you can buy that online as a tea. And I've been using the organic cleanser that Martin and Pleasance have, and I've really loved it because we've got in that cleanser the camellia oil, the sunflower oil and the avocado oil all blended together. And I'm waking up with more hydrated skin. And the interesting thing is, and you'll love this, Jackie, because I'd like to speak to you. What's happened is, you know, I'm celebrating because I was born in 1961 and now I'm 61, and I'm getting more compliments now about my skin than I did 10 years ago. So who said that it never has to stop? So Jackie, can you share with us, this is Jackie and we've known each other for a while, and Jackie has been introduced to the Samahan tea. I'd love you to share with us your experiences of that tea and the tissue salts, Jackie. Can we give her a minute? Jackie, I
Yes,
can hear you
got it.
now. Good.
Yes. Sorry, I kept saying, are you, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I love the Samahan tea. It is absolutely superb and it's wonderful to have it as a backup. If you get a tickle in your throat or anything, it's the best thing in the world, because you can use 1 or 2 packets of tea in the hot water and it tastes beautiful. I've reordered, but my order hasn't come yet, so that's a reminder to follow up tomorrow. But it's something that if you're going overseas or, you know, into a large group or anything, having this, you know, that in your handbag and you can always have it, it's fantastic. And I use that cleanser as well. I think it's really lovely. And makes your skin feel nice and soft, and it does take all your makeup off as well.
So that's very nice. And Jackie, with the tea, getting back to the tea, it's already made up and you just add it in the hot water, and that's what I love about it.
Yes, it's when you open the packet, it's just little gold granules and you put it into your cup and fill it up with hot water, and it just melts. And the taste is delicious, and it immediately goes straight to your throat, and you think, oh, it's like having a hot lemon and you know what we used to have in the past, like a Lemsip type of thing.
Yes,
but 100% more powerful.
That's right.
It is really, really powerful, and something that you can take every day, especially in this COVID atmosphere, just to protect yourself.
That's right.
So
And
I love it.
Jackie, with your tissue salts, because you only started them last year, didn't you? When did you start?
Yes, I think so. And I've been on combination 12 for, I think I did that for quite a few months. Currently, I'm doing the combination 5, but in the spray. And what helps me is the calm spray and the focus spray and the sleep spray and the vital as well. And I think consistency helps there, because if I've missed a day with not spraying, I really notice it. And sometimes you think, oh, look, I don't need that today, but you do. And so I think with me, it's consistency. And I think my emotional platform's around about 8. So I'm really pleased.
Well, that's very, very good. Now, what I'm going to do, if there's anyone today that hasn't been introduced to my level 1, because that's a prerequisite for the level 4, and I'm giving that as a gift for everyone who does the level 4, buys the level 4, but I'd be happy with this ongoing group that I've had for the year to give you the level 1 so you can read through it and be inspired whether you want to do the level 4 and so forth in that. But I'd love you, because this is our last Zoom for the year, what I'd like to do is still stay in touch with you, because you've all got my email address. We're going to resume probably the third week in January, but I'd love you to tell me, as of today, you're going to actually start building an emotionally fit month before we get to Christmas. So because today is the 26th of October, it's only 8 weeks until Christmas. And what I'd like to invite you to think about, if we learnt new ways to be emotionally fit, December will be a breeze. So what I'd like to invite you to consider and think about, what we do in the next 4 weeks is going to have an impact. So why don't we give ourselves a Christmas gift? Why don't we give ourselves a Christmas gift by a Christmas gift to say, I'm actually going to support you, my very own unique self, to be the best version by the 1st of December. So why don't we today make a promise to ourselves that we're actually going to live with more self-respect and take whatever it takes to make us emotionally switched on. And what I'd like to hear from each of you by the 26th of November, to tell me that at the end of every week you stayed on board and what's been happening. And if you need any more fine tuning, I'm prepared to actually work in with each of you until then. But I'd like you all to go away with giving yourselves a Christmas gift of self-respect, self-love, and self-support before you even start thinking about buying Christmas gifts for others. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think that we've got someone special on from the UK called Charisse, and Charisse organises, and I'm going to do an interview with her. I'm on Spotify, and you can listen to all my interviews. You can listen to all my interviews, and Charisse gives me a face on Spotify, and she's quite an amazing young woman. And I'd love, I can't see her face, whether she's still on, but if you go to Elevate with Susan Janevsky on Spotify, I've got about 5 interviews there. They're not very long, but it's a nice way to actually tune in. And I can't wait until I do my interview with Charisse about how we stay emotionally fit and what we need to do. And movement, we speak about exercise. Even if you don't feel like going up the street, why not walk around your backyard or just keep walking out to your front door? Remember that movement creates oxygen. Oxygen gives us the feeling of feeling alive again. So before you think about anyone else in this next 4 weeks, why not make yourself a priority? You know,
Susan,
just like
can I
you're
just
giving
add?
me now. Sandra?
I actually, because talk about emotional fitness, I've actually, there's massive things happening in my family at the moment, but because I've been setting goals and doing little things that I said I have to do, and I have Mary obviously supporting me, but one of the goals was to get rid of my hoarder's garage. And just listening to your show on repeat, yours and the Model Health Show in the podcast. So every time I go in there and clean it, I just put your voice on and just keep doing my stuff. So I kind of pretend I'm talking to you, but I'm not, but it's just a way. So just to let you know, thank you very much. I think I know a lot of them off by heart, but that's okay. And then I just thought, I sort of thought something, because when you think about Christmas, and I'm going to get my daughter, who's very clever with poems, and Mary knows this, you know, the 12 Days of Christmas song?
Oh, yes.
I'm going to put the remedies into that.
Oh, I love that.
Come 5, you know, I was just wondering with the, pardon? Pardon, Andy?
And I think it's from
I
somewhere.
don't know. Yeah, so
Yeah.
let's see what I come up with
That
then,
sounds
eh?
good.
So
Can you
to
come
remember
up
what
with
to
that?
do.
That's beautiful.
Can't wait to
Just-
hear.
Yeah.
Um,
So the 12 days of Christmas starts before, what date does it start?
I think it starts 12 days before Christmas, like
So
the
it does.
13th. Is it the 13th?
Wow.
Okay,
The
well,
12th.
regardless, anyway, maybe
I
we'll do
love
two
it.
lots,
Can
lots
I
of 12.
also say, if you would like to receive my podcasts, and I do a few of them, and I'd be happy to actually just have conversations every few weeks. And if you would like to receive my podcasts, all you have to do, and they usually go for about 15 minutes,
Mm.
I'd be happy for this group to just give them as my gift to you. And all you have to do is write to me on that email that you've got. You're going to receive my notes tomorrow. So Andy might, we might just do it this way.
We send a recording.
Andy, do you have a pen? Just so I can actually now just do like this, so I can copy, because sometimes I don't have the right names. Do you know what I mean?
But Susan, is there other podcasts or the ones that I've been listening to? What do
No,
you
there's other ones I've been
Oh,
doing,
is there?
you know, so if you're wanting to receive it on your phone,
Mm.
I can easily organise that for you, and just let me know, because every few weeks I create them, and it's just very easy. Ever since COVID hit and I couldn't go to Canada and things like that, what's been happening is I've been creating these podcasts, and it brings, I enjoy sharing, because I never stop talking, my husband said, and even if I went underwater, I would still speak, which is, I take that as a compliment, I suppose. But what I'd like, if you're wanting, and I'm going to create something more on emotional fitness, it'll be just an ongoing little every few weeks to, and if you want to receive them until for a few, you know, see how you feel in the next few, in the next 2 weeks. All you have to do is write to me at Susan.Janevsky, it's SUSAN dot GIANEVSKY at mandp.com.au, and you can say to me whether you would like to receive the recording via email or via your phone. And people like Esther, I'm not too sure how, whether we've got your email, Esther. So I'd love you all to write to me so I can actually have your emails. If you prefer them as on your phone, you just send me your phone number in the email as well. And that way we can stay connected.
Thank you. Thank you, Susan.
That'd be nice. But I thank each of you for giving me a platform, to share. Thank you, Esther. I just share because I just speak from my heart, and it's just my life in the last 30 years. And I was standing at a bar where I use my, I see clients at Kooyong, and I went to the, went to get some water from the bar where people were having a drink and whatever, and I saw the man that used to be my director's business partner. I hadn't seen him for 25 or more years. And he was staring at me, and I'm thinking, why is this man staring at me? And I went up to him and I said, Jeremy, And he said, Susan Janevsky, what are you doing? He said, please tell me you're not still with Martin and Pleasance. And I said, yes, I am. But what happens is I get to meet each of you because of the platform Martin and Pleasance gives me. So whatever I can share with the care and offer supplements, and I can actually put pictures because of Andy, and I'd like to thank Andy as well, who can actually put a picture up of the 2 new products I spoke about at the start, plus a picture of the little Samahan tea. But just so when you run out of tissue salts, you can always buy them all online or write to me and say to me, Susan, I live in this area, where can I get them from?
Sorry, Susan, that tea, is that from you guys that we order it from?
No, it's from Sri Lanka.
Okay, all right. I looked it up, but I just wasn't sure if you were.
No, Richard would wonder why on earth I drink this stuff. But I'm just excited that I haven't had, people around me have had so many bugs. I was in a shopping centre and a woman came up to me and gave me a big hug, and she said, I hope you don't mind, but I'm COVID. I've just finished COVID. She said, but I don't know if I'm finished. And I never got COVID. I haven't had it, but like people don't know what's happening to them. And she said, but I know you wanted a hug from me. So she said, I've given you a hug. But, if we've got our back, no one can actually, and that's why I really promote healthy skin, because if you think about how this virus is entering our body, and that's why I like that Kali Mur, is through our nasal passages. If you think about it. So if you've got your own back, and this is what today's about, emotional fitness is about having your own back, internally and externally. Julie?
I just want to say, at the beginning of winter, you advised us to take Furfos and Kali Mur, which I did for 3 months. And luckily, I haven't had a flu, I haven't had COVID. So I'm very grateful for that.
That's beautiful, Julie, and thanks for staying on board.
Yes, no, I can't leave now.
No, you can't. So we'll stay as our family. So
That's
that
right.
gives me great joy. So thank you so much. And thank you for connecting for the whole year. And let's stay in touch. And I'll start organising my podcast.
And then a retreat, Susan.
Sorry, Sandra?
Then a retreat as well.
Oh, I'd love to organise a retreat. Wouldn't that be
Martin and
nice?
Pleasant Wild in the Forest retreat.
Oh, I'd love a retreat. And what we'll do with Esther and a few of the others that are from the UK, we'll put you on Zoom so you can walk with us.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be lovely? So I might also share with you what I do with, if anyone hasn't received my ebook, please write to me. And I'd like to also speak about a few little recipes that I've just added to my diet with the parsley and things like that. So every now and then I get a bit creative, not all the time, Andy, I work too much.
You always.
Yeah. But thank you so much for spending your time with me, and happy month of October, November. And I wish you each that you step into the month of December with such joy that you actually blow everyone out of the water on your Christmas day. And let's give Susan tissue salts for Christmas presents with the Bach flowers.
Bye, bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Susan.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.